Hello children and viewers. So in the previous classes we discussed about the Huygens principle, and by using the Huygens principle, so I explained the reflection of plane wave front and refraction of plane wave front. Now we are going to learn about the interference. So to learn the interference, first of all, so we will learn the what is the principle of superposition and what is the phase difference and path difference of the waves, and when the sources of the light will be said to be coherent. If you understood these concepts, then only we can easily understood the interference. So now coming to the principle of superposition. Principle of superposition. Principle of superposition. So to explain the principle of superposition, so now consider, so this is a medium. So in this medium, let us consider it is a particle P. It is a particle P. So now consider, so this is a wave, or consider this is a first wave, so that is traveling through this medium and will be reaches this particle. So now this is consider the first wave and traveling through medium, it will be reaches the particle P. So when it reaches the particle P, then what happened? This particle absorbs that energy. Wave is nothing but disturbance or energy. So then that particle absorbs that energy, and due to that it will be undergo the simple harmonic motion about this mean position, and it may can move upward and downward about this point. So then due to that it will make some displacement. It will make some displacement. So now the displacement will be produced by this first wave will be considered y1 in downward direction. And first of all it will be moved downward, then after it will be go to the mean position, then after it will be go to the upward, and again this process will be continued, but the displacement created by this wave will be considered y1, and the y1 is nothing but y1 is the displacement produced by the first wave alone, and nothing but when reaches this particle alone, this is a displacement produced. Now forget about the first wave, and first wave అనేది లేదనుకోండి. Now consider, so this is the second wave, so that is also traveling in the medium and reaches this particle, so then what happened? This second wave, when second wave alone, now forget about అంటే ఇక్కడ first wave లేదనుకోండి. So when the second wave will be reaches this particle, then what happened? Again that particle absorb the energy from the second wave and start the simple harmonic motion. When it starts the simple harmonic motion, the displacement created by the second wave will be considered y2. It is in upward direction, and nothing but, so the y2 is nothing but the displacement produced by the second wave alone, and when it reaches that particle alone, so the displacement produced by the second wave is what? y2. Now consider, so these two waves are traveling through medium and it will be reaches that particle, and they will be reaches the particle at the same time, అంటే ఒకటేసారి వచ్చి అక్కడ మీట్ అయ్యాయి అనుకోండి. Then what happened? Again the particle will be undergo the displacement. That displacement will be called as a net displacement, and now y suffix net, and nothing but, so y suffix net is nothing but what? Resultant displacement or net displacement produced. So produced by the two waves reaches at same time, not at different time, at the same time. So now this net displacement can be calculated with help of the principle of superposition. So according to this principle of superposition, so the net displacement due to the two or more waves, only I am taking here two waves, but sometimes two or more waves also come to the particle. So now the net displacement produced in the particle is equal to, so the vectorial sum of the displacements produced by the each wave alone, and y1 is the displacement produced by the first wave alone, y2 is the displacement produced by the second wave alone, and now that when the two waves will be reaches these particles at the same time, the net displacement is equal to, so vector sum of displacement produced by the each wave alone, that will be called as what? Principle of superposition. What is the principle of superposition? When two or more waves, when two or more waves reaches particle of medium at same time, so the net displacement of particle is equal to so vector sum of, this is which and nothing but which sum, not the algebraic sum. So the vector sum of displacements produced by the each wave alone, and nothing but when two or more waves will be reaches a particle of medium at the same time, the net displacement can be calculated with the help of the principle of superposition. So this is a formula when only two waves. If n waves are comes, and nothing but this is only for two waves formula. If n waves are superimposed at that particle, so the net displacement is nothing but so y1 bar plus y2 bar plus dash 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 y suffix n. Y suffix n is nothing but the displacement produced by the nth wave. And nothing but when we are adding the vector addition, and nothing but we are not the ordinary addition, it is a vector addition. So following the rules of addition of vectors. For example, the displacement produced by the first wave will be considered 5 cm in the downward direction. So the displacement produced by the second wave will be in the upward direction, that is nothing but 10 cm. So if only the algebraic sum will be gives nothing but 10 plus 5, the 10 plus 5 is 15, but it is not the correct. So we have to take the direction is also considered. The nothing but we have to take the direction is also in account. And the direction would be considered. So when we take the direction and when we consider the direction, so the net displacement is nothing but so that is nothing but y2 minus y1, and I am taking the upward direction is positive and downward direction is the negative. Then y2 minus y1. What is y2? 10 minus 5, and nothing but 5, and you are getting the plus 5, and nothing but the resultant displacement of this particle will be in the upward direction. How much? It is a 5. Here plus, and we are getting plus means nothing but it is in upward direction. So the net displacement is how much? 5 centimeter. So otherwise, for example, so this is a particle. Now consider if the displacement produced by the first particle is in this direction and along the horizontal, and the displacement produced by the second particle is in the upward, then what is the resultant displacement? The resultant displacement will be in this direction. And by following the parallelogram law vector, or by following the addition of vectors, so we can calculate the resultant displacement by using the principle of superposition. So now when we follow the vector law of addition, the net displacement become in this direction, but the angle between them is how much? 90 degrees. And if we take the if we add the vector sum, then only you get the resultant displacement, and then as well as direction. So this is about the principle of superposition. But okay, while you are calculating the net displacement using the principle of superposition, so the net displacement and nothing but the displacement become maximum or minimum, that is depend upon the path difference and phase difference of the two waves when they will be reach at this particle. Because interference is nothing but what? When two or more waves will be superimposed at a point, the intensity of the light become maximum or minimum, and nothing but the intensity of the light will be redistributed. So at what place the intensity of light become maximum, at what place the intensity of the light become minimum, so that will be depend upon the phase and path difference of these two waves will be reaches to that place. So that's why I am going to discuss about the phase difference and path difference. Phase difference and the path difference. Phase difference and path difference. So now consider, so this is a particle of a medium. Now consider this is a medium. In this medium, so this is a particle and its name is P. And the particle pair P anukundu. So now consider, so there are two sources of light. So one is S1 and second one is S2. Now consider these are the two sources of light which can be emit the light in the form of waves. Now consider the frequency of this first source of light will be considered omega 1 angular frequency, and nothing but omega 1 is equal to 2 pi f1 or n1, and nothing but this n1 is the frequency of the source of light. Frequency is nothing but the number of waves produced per second. And now consider the frequency of the angular frequency of the second wave is considered omega 2, that is nothing but 2 pi n2. Here n2 is nothing but the frequency of the second source of light, and nothing but the frequency is different here. Consider first of all initially the frequency is different, and as well as consider, so they are traveling in the same medium, and nothing but when the first source of light, when the second source of light will be produce the wave, that waves will be traveling in the same medium. So that's why the propagation constant will be same, the k is same. So the k will be the same for the two waves, and as well as they are also traveling to the same medium. So the velocity of the wave is also same. The velocity of the wave which is produced by S1 and S2 is also same. Why? Because they are traveling through the same medium. So in which the particle will be there. అంటే ఈ పార్టికల్ P అనేది ఏ మీడియంలో ఉందో ఈ రెండు సోర్సెస్ నుంచి వచ్చేటువంటి వేవ్స్ కూడా అదే మీడియంలో వెళ్తున్నాయి కాబట్టి the propagation constant and as well as what, so the speed of the waves or the velocity of the wave will be same. What is the propagation constant? The k equal to 2 pi by lambda. So now consider this first source will be, and this first source will be, and the second source points will be considered x equal to 0 and is also considered x equal to 0, and then I am taking the, so the S1 is at x equal to 0 and S2 is also at x equal to 0. Now consider when this S1 source of light emit the waves, now consider, so that waves can be traveling through S1, and nothing but when the source of light will be emit the waves, so that will be start from the S1 and it will be travel through the medium. Now consider and reaches this particle. So again when the wave which is coming from the S1 will be reaches this particle, so it will follow a path. So that length of the path will be considered x, and nothing but the x1 is nothing but the path followed by the first wave, that will be considered x. And as well as, so when it reaches this particle, then what happened? That particle receives some energy, due to that it will be undergo some displacement. That displacement produced by the wave will be considered y1. Now this is a wave, that's why the wave equation, so which is coming from the S1, and let us consider the amplitude of the wave will be A1. Now this amplitude of the wave will be considered A1, and its angular frequency is omega 1. And now consider the wave equation which is produced from S1 will be considered y1 equal to A1 sin omega t plus or minus kx. But here x equal to 0, that's why k into x equal to 0, that's why omega into t. Here the angular frequency is omega 1, that's why the wave which is produced from the first source of light will be the A1 sin omega 1 t. But after producing from S1, so it is traveling how much distance? X distance, and reaches this particle P. So on reaching this particle P and it making some displacement, that displacement y1. So what is the y1? So that y1 is equal to nothing but A1 sin omega 1 t plus kx. So nothing but on reaching this particle it is traveling how much distance? X distance. So that's why here in the place of nothing but here x will be something, and ఇక్కడ x అనేది 0 కాదు, it has some x, that's why the displacement of this particle is how much? y1 equal to A1 sin omega 1 t plus kx. But here why we are not taking the x, because here when the wave is at this place, the x equal to 0. But when the wave reaches this particle P, it is traveling some path, so along some path, and it has some path length of the path, that will be x. That's why, and nothing but the distance traveled by the wave is x. That's why I am taking here x. So, but it is a SHM equation, and nothing but this y1 can be represent the displacement of this particle, but here the y1 can be gives the equation of the wave. This is the equation of the wave, this is the displacement of the particle. Now in the same way, the S2 is also produce the wave when that wave is produced from the S2, and it is also reaches this particle. When it reaches this particle, again it will travel some distance. Now consider this is the wave which is coming from the S2. And the wave which is coming from the S2 will be reaches this particle. Again it is also follow some path, so that path will be considered x2. The x2 will be considered x plus delta x, because the distance or the distance traveled by the second will be more compared to this first wave. So that's why I am taking x plus delta x. Now consider the angular frequency is omega 2. Now consider the amplitude of the second wave will be considered a2. So that's why the wave equation which is produced from S2 will be considered y2 equal to a2 sine omega suffix 2 into t, because it is also at the same x equal to 0. But the wave which is produced from the S2 will be reaching this particle P, so it is traveling how much distance? X plus delta x. After traveling x plus delta x with what amplitude a2 and reaches in this particle, then it will make some displacement. The displacement will be considered y2. So the displacement produced by the second wave can be taken as what? a2 sine omega suffix 2 into t plus k of. So what is the x here? X is nothing but x plus delta x. So now this is the displacement produced by the second wave. This is the displacement produced by second wave. This is the displacement produced by the first wave. But here the two waves have the different frequencies. They doesn't have the same frequencies. And the waves which are coming from these two sources reaches this particle. What is happening? So they will follow different paths. When they follow the different paths after reaching this particle, so they have some path difference. And nothing but the path followed by the two waves is different. So if we find the distance of the path followed by the first wave and the distance of the path followed by the second wave, they are not the same. So that's why the differences in the path. The difference in the paths followed by these waves will be called as the path difference. What is the path difference? So the difference in the paths traveled by the two waves when they reaches the particle P. So what is the path difference? The path difference is nothing but, so the difference in the paths traveled by the two waves when they reach the particle P, so that will be called as a path difference. So what is the path difference here? Nothing but the path difference will be considered, so delta x is equal to x2 minus x1. So what is the x2? X2 is nothing but x plus delta x minus x1 is nothing but x. So this is the path difference, because the second wave will be travel more distance or more path compared to the first wave. That's why they have some path difference. So due to this path difference, when these two waves will be reaches at this particle P, so they have some phase difference. So in this equation, which part can be represent the phase? So these parts. So this is a part represent the phase of the second wave, and this part can be represent the phase of the first wave. This is called the phase term. So this is a phase of the second wave and this is a phase of the first wave when reaches this particle P. So what is the phase of the first wave? The phase of the first wave will be considered. So what is the phase of the first wave? Omega 1 t plus kx. And what is the phase of the second wave when it reaches second particle? That is phi 2 is nothing but omega suffix 2 into t plus k of x plus delta x. So this is the phase of the first wave and this is the phase of the second wave when they reaches the particle P. But initially both are in the same phase. So it is started with the crust. The first wave is started with the crust. Second wave is also started with the crust. Reaching this particle P, they have some phase difference. So now what is the phase difference? Phase difference is nothing but, so phase difference will be considered delta pi. Delta pi is nothing but pi 2 minus, this symbol is pi suffix 2 minus pi suffix 1. So delta pi is equal to, so pi 2 will be more. So omega suffix 2 into t plus, so kx, k into x, kx plus into plus plus k delta x minus pi 1. Pi 1 is nothing but omega suffix 1 t plus kx. So when I simplify, so delta pi and the phase difference is equal to omega suffix 2 into t plus kx plus k delta x minus omega 1 t plus into minus kx. So this minus kx and plus kx will be difference. So when plus kx and minus kx will be cancelled, then what you get? Delta pi phase difference is equal to omega suffix 2 into t plus k delta x minus omega 1 into t. So from this equation again when we take the time common, so phase difference equal to omega 2 minus omega 1 into t plus k delta x. Then now this is the equation that can be represent the phase difference. But nothing but here the phase difference is depend upon the time and as well as the path difference. So if the phase difference will be depend upon the time, so what happened at that place? So the intensity of the light will be alternatively changes. అంటే ఫస్ట్ సెకండ్ అప్పుడు మినిమం అయింది అనుకోండి, సెకండ్ అప్పుడు మాక్సిమం అవుతుంది, మళ్ళీ మినిమం అవుతుంది, మళ్ళీ మాక్సిమం అవుతుంది. అంటే టైం తో పాటుగా the intensity of the light will be changes at this place. But when the intensity of the light will be changes at this place, so in the all the places also intensity of the light will be changes. So that's why we can't observe the interference. So the phase difference must be changes only with respect to path difference. Phase difference అనేది టైం తోని చేంజ్ అయింది అనుకోండి, ఒకే ప్లేస్ దగ్గర ఇంటెన్సిటీ ఆఫ్ లైట్ మాక్సిమం అవుతుంటది, మినిమం అవుతుంటది. సో దానివల్ల నో యూస్, we can't observe the interference. What is the interference? ఒక ప్లేస్ దగ్గర మాక్సిమం అయింది అనుకోండి, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ what is the interference pattern? ఒక ప్లేస్ దగ్గర మాక్సిమం అయింది అనుకోండి, సో నెక్స్ట్ ఏం కావాలి? మినిమం కావాలి, నెక్స్ట్ ఏం కావాలి? మళ్ళీ మాక్సిమం కావాలి, నెక్స్ట్ ఏం కావాలి? మినిమం. అంటే if this place the intensity of the light become maximum, at place A the intensity of light maximum, at place B minimum కావాలి, మళ్ళీ at place C maximum కావాలి, at place D minimum కావాలి. అంటే so the interference pattern is nothing but alternatively maximum and minimum. But if the phase difference will be changes with respect to time, what happened? At the same place and ఒకే ప్లేస్ దగ్గర intensity of light maximum అవుతుంటది, minimum అవుతుంటది. That's why that is not the interference. What is the interference? The interference is nothing but, so the alternatively dark and bright fringes. అంటే ఒక ప్లేస్ దగ్గర మాక్సిమం కావాలి, ఇంకో ప్లేస్ దగ్గర మినిమం, మళ్ళీ మాక్సిమం, మళ్ళీ మినిమం, అంటే ఇటు ఆల్టర్నేటివ్లీ మాక్సిమం మినిమం ఇంటెన్సిటీ అబ్జర్వ్ చేయడాన్ని ఏమంటారంటే ఇంటర్ఫరెన్స్. దట్స్ వై if the phase difference can changes with respect to time, we can't observe the interference. To overcome that, so we have to take the omega 1 equal to omega 2, and nothing but if we take the two sources of light whose frequency will be same, but initially we taken the different frequencies. The first source of light frequency is N1, second source of light frequency is N2. That's why the omega 1 and omega 2 will be the different for these two sources. So that's why to overcome that problem, we have to take the two sources frequency, angular frequency same as well as the frequency will be same. Then only that phase difference cannot be changes with respect to time. Remember, this is very important. And nothing but when the two sources frequency will be same, then only that source is said to be coherent sources. So later will be discussed. And if omega 1 equal to omega 2, then that sources of light said to be what? Coherent sources. Coherent sources later we discuss. Okay, if we take the two sources of light whose frequency will be same, so then what happened? So this term becomes 0. So then delta pi equal to k delta x. So k means what? 2 pi by lambda. K is nothing but 2 pi by lambda. That's why delta pi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. This is the relation between the phase difference and path difference. But the phase difference is nothing but when the two or more waves will be reaches the particle. So when they are reaches the particle at the same time, so they have some angular difference. They have some angular difference. So the angular difference, that is nothing but the differences in the difference. So the difference in the angles between two waves. So what is the phase difference? The phase difference is nothing but, so the difference in the angles between the two waves. And when the two waves will be reaches this particle after traveling some distances, they have some angular difference. That angular difference will be called as what? Phase difference. Phase difference. Now by taking one example you can easily understood. So now what is the path followed by the first wave? x1. What is x1 here? From here to here lambda. So 2 lambda, 3 lambda, 4 lambda and half. And nothing but what is the path followed by the first wave? x1 is equal to or x equal to what? So let us consider. So this is total wave will be considered lambda. And the one crust, one trough will be gives the lambda. When one crust, one trough will be gives the lambda. These are 1, these are 2. Here up to here 1, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, 4 lambda and half. One crust means what? Half. And what is the path followed by the first wave? The path followed by the first wave is nothing but 4.5 lambda. 4.5 lambda. Now coming to the second wave. So what is the path followed by the second wave? One crust, one trough gives the lambda. So 1 lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, 4 lambda, 5 lambda and half. And nothing but the path difference x2 is equal to nothing but x plus delta x is equal to how much? So 5.5 lambda. And the path followed by the first wave is how many times to the wavelength of the wave? 4.5 times. And path followed by the second wave will be how many times to the wavelength of the wave? That is 5.5 lambda. So now what is the path difference? The path difference is nothing but delta x is equal to x2 minus x1 is nothing but 5.5 lambda minus 4.5 lambda equal to how much? Lambda. That is nothing but lambda. So but actually the two waves are started with in phase. And if the cluster started, initially the phase difference is 0. But traveling these distances, they have some phase difference because of this path difference. So how much phase difference is created at this place? So that can be calculated with help of this formula. So what is that formula? The relation between the phase difference and path difference. This is the relation between the phase difference and path difference. So now here we know the path difference, that is lambda. So by using this formula we can calculate the phase difference. So what is the path difference when these two waves will be reaches the particle P? So that is lambda. That is the lambda. And again by using this path difference, now we are going to calculate the phase difference. The phase difference delta pi equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. So delta pi equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. And what is the path difference when these two waves are reaches this particle P? That is lambda. This lambda will be cancelled. So then what you get? Again the phase difference is what? 2 pi. Initially the phase difference is 0. But after traveling this particle P, they have the how much phase difference? 2 pi. And nothing but the angular difference initially 0. But when they reaches this particle P, the angular difference is what? 2 pi. So this is called the phase difference and this is called the path difference. But again, with respect, and when the time is passing, how many number of waves this produced by these two sources of light, again when they reaches this particle P, again they maintain the same phase difference. So why they are maintaining the same phase difference? When the two waves will be reaches this particle P, even though time is changing, అంటే మీకు టైము ఇక్కడ డిస్టెన్స్ అంటే నథింగ్ బట్ వెన్ దీస్ టూ వేవ్స్ ఆర్ traveling after some distance and by taking some time also. So at any time at point P, what is the phase difference? 2 pi. So that's why these two sources of light said to be coherent sources. So why these two sources are said to be coherent sources? Because these two sources of light is producing the waves with the same frequency. So initially what we consider, so omega 1 equal to omega 2. Omega 1 equal to omega 2 is nothing but what? So 2 pi n1 equal to 2 pi n2. 2 pi cancel, n1 equal to n2. But when we say that these two sources of light said to be coherent sources, if they have the same frequencies and if they emit the light waves, and if that light waves traveling through medium on reaching this particle P at any time, if they maintain the same phase difference. What is the phase difference here? 2 pi for in this case, for example. So then that source of light is said to be what? Coherent sources. And what is the definition of the coherent sources? Coherent sources. Now come to the coherent sources. Coherent sources of light. So what is the coherent source of light? So when we say that the source of lights are said to be coherent sources, first condition is they must have the same frequency. And second condition is what? So when that source of light produces the waves, if that waves are traveling through medium and reaches a point, so then when that two waves always maintain the constant phase difference at that point, and again these two waves will be reaches some other point, for example reaches here, some other point reaches here, again at this point they reaches, again they also maintain the same phase difference, not the 2 pi. When they reaches to this place they have some other phase difference, but ఆ రెండు వేవ్స్ ఏ టైం అప్పుడైనా సరే ఇక్కడ రీచ్ అయితే అంతే ఫేజ్ డిఫరెన్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి. దెన్ ఓన్లీ అంటే ఇక్కడ ఎంత ఫేజ్ డిఫరెన్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తే 2 పై అనుకోండి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇక్కడ రీచ్ అయినప్పుడు కనుక 4-5 ఫేజ్ డిఫరెన్స్ వచ్చింది అనుకోండి. సో అగైన్ ఎట్ ఎనీ టైం వెన్ దే రీచెస్ దిస్ పాయింట్ అగైన్ దే హ్యావ్ టు మెయింటైన్ దిస్ 4 పై. Then only these two sources of lights are said to be coherent sources. So what is the coherent source? So the sources of light, so which emits the waves, whose frequency is same, and maintain, or whose frequency is same, and maintain constant phase difference. Constant phase difference. The phase difference may be have some value or 0. Constant phase difference over a distance and time. And at any time the phase difference must be the same after traveling a distance. And so now why we are saying that these two sources of light are said to be coherent? Because these sources of light are having the same frequency, omega 1 equal to nothing but n1 equal to n2. And so these waves are nothing but these waves are coming from these source of light and they having the same frequency, and after traveling a certain distance at any time, so they maintain the what? Constant phase difference. How much constant phase difference here? 2 pi. But when these two waves are reaches this point, for example again they will follow the different paths, and reaching this point they does not have the same phase difference. What is the phase difference maintained at the P? Also does not maintain the here, because they travel some other distance. That's why, but on reaching this point at any time, అంటే ఏ టైం అప్పుడైనా సరే ఈ రెండు వేవ్స్ ఇక్కడ రీచ్ అయిన మాత్రము అక్కడ ఎంత ఫేజ్ డిఫరెన్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తాయి 4 pi always at any time on reaching this distance. So that's why if we take the different points in the medium, so they will be reaches that particle different phase difference. Due to that, alternatively dark and bright fringes will be changes at a different places, not at the same place, at different places. అంటే ఇక్కడ డార్క్ ఫ్రింజ్ ఫామ్ అయింది అనుకోండి, ఇక్కడ బ్రైట్ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. కానీ ఇక్కడ ఎప్పటికీ డార్క్ ఫ్రింజ్ ఉంటుంది, ఇక్కడ ఎప్పటికీ బ్రైట్ ఫ్రింజ్. అంటే ఎప్పటికీ ఇంటెన్సిటీ ఆఫ్ లైట్ మాక్సిమం అయితే ఆల్వేస్ మాక్సిమం, ఇక్కడ మినిమం అయితే ఆల్వేస్ మినిమం. బట్ ఇక్కడ మాక్సిమం అయినప్పుడు మళ్ళీ మినిమం కాదు, ఇక్కడ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ ఇక్కడ మాక్సిమం మినిమం చేంజ్ కాదు. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ ద principle of superposition and phase difference and path difference, coherent source of light.